We are here on the Connecting Europe tour with the Executive Vice President of the European Commission, Margrethe Vestager. Margaret, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
It's such a pleasure that you're having me. Great project that you're doing.
So you are responsible for the Europe Fit for the Digital Age strategy. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, it's a strategy, so we're not there yet. Because at the heart of it is that we as human control technology. That technology is here to serve us for better public services, to enable us to fight climate change, for traffic without the queues, for better health services. So the core is technology that serves human. And because of that, we need many more people to be educated, basic skills, expertise. We need connectivity all over Europe for everybody to be able to connect. And of course, we need to make sure that when AI is being used, for instance, if you want to go to university, or you should have a mortgage, or you want to sign up for an insurance, that you're not being discriminated.
And we're seeing a growing rise in EU skepticism. Why is it vital that this digitization comes from the EU?
Well, the EU is 450 million people, so it has scale. The market is big, we're many people, which means that we have muscle. So if we want to say that humans are in control, not the individual company, this is the kind of scale that we need. Because there are so many good things that we can do with technology, but we see a lot of the dark sides. We see a lot of the hate speech, we see a lot of the discrimination, we see a lot of mental health issues, and when you want to go up against big tech, you need muscle, and that comes from being 450 million people.
Fantastic. So the Horizon Europe project is also something that you're working with. Can you tell us a little bit more about that too, please?
So Horizon Europe is research funding. So it's almost 100 billion euros. So a lot of money. And this complements what member states would do, what private businesses would do. And researchers, they say, we have this project, this is what we want to do. And then we can fund that very often partially, and then they get funding from other sources as well, so that we get something that benefits all of us.
And I believe the United Kingdom has actually rejoined this Horizon project. Why is that important?
Well, I think it's in the DNA of doing research that you're open. Because you're open to new ideas, you're open to new horizons, you're open to things that you actually didn't know anything of before. And I think that openness also is how you organize yourself. So Horizon Europe is a very open program. If you fulfill a certain list of criteria, then you can join. So that is what the UK have done, and I think it's really good that they're part of the program.
Likewise. How does the Horizon project fit with the Europe Fit for a Digital Age strategy?
I think that the Horizon Europe funding and a Europe becoming fit for the digital age works really well together. Because research in Europe translates into innovation, for instance, on how to use artificial intelligence in better health, in better being able to cure also rare diseases. Research is also how to make more and better ways of protecting your privacy, which is also being fit for digital, that you can protect your privacy, that all your data is just not flowing wherever. And also for research, it works the other way around, that researchers need to be able to recruit more people who knows what to do, how to deal with digital, how to develop it. So, you know, to push for more skills, more expertise, also makes our research programs better.
So what are some of the things that the funding that Horizon offers could be used for over the next coming years?
Oh, it's incredibly broad. You know, whenever you dive in, you're just, you know, so encouraged and enlightened to see the kind of research that we do here in Europe. So it is in health, how really to beat cancer, but also how to cure some of the rarest diseases, so that just because you have a really rare disease, you're not left out of research programs. It can be how we utilize the present technology to fight climate change, how we reorganize society, but also, of course, how do we push for new solutions to fight climate change, new ways of creating renewable energy, more efficient wind turbines, new ways of harvest the power that comes from water and from the tide. So there are, so many different projects. And when people say, oh, Europe is behind, Europe is not doing well, they should dive in and see, the ingenuity and the curiosity and the results that comes from European research.
So reflecting on your tenure from 2019 to 2024, how digitally fit is Europe?
Well, Europe is more ready than we were, but we're not there yet. And that is because we as humans are not fully in control. Because for me, a Europe fit for the digital age is a Europe where people feel we're in control. Technology is serving us. It's not the other way around. I do not just feel like a small piece in a gigantic puzzle. I'm in control. And that is one of the things that I've been pursuing in everything I have done, to make sure that people see I have opportunities. My talent is recognized. I can do things, I can shape my life, and I can help others to shape their life in our community. And of course that sounds very lofty, but now we have rules to protect us in social media. We have rules to make sure that smaller businesses also can make it in the digital markets, that it's not just big tech that decides everything. We have programs that enable people to take initiative, to be innovative. So that balance between rules to control the big ones and projects that enables the small ones, I think that's the way to go.
Could you explain some of the ways in which you've achieved these things?
Well, actually, the main way is to work with my team. Everything successful in my book is something that I have achieved working with other people. And my people work with other people, work with other people. In Europe, we also have amazing infrastructure, cloud provisions, connectivity, that people can identify themselves also within the GÉANT research community that we have here. And I think that is the magic of getting to results. It is that you work with other people.
That's something that we've seen across this Connecting Europe tour. Is at the heart of everything lies collaboration and a real collective desire to make life and Europe better for those living in Europe. It's been really amazing.
And I think that's the European model. Some say, oh, we compete with the Chinese, we compete with the US. But we shouldn't compete by destroying our model, because it actually delivers cleaner air, longer lives, better access to health, education systems that are state-of-the-art on this planet. Of course, not everything is perfect, but we have a model that actually delivers to citizens so much more than in other parts of the world.
So what are some of the challenges then that are still facing Europe?
Well, I think one is sometimes that we doubt other Europeans, we doubt their motives, so we do not work well together. We can do amazing stuff when we work well together. I think the vaccine to prevent COVID is a very good example of that. Not only could all of Europe get vaccinated, but we also exported every second vaccine that was ever produced here. So we really have muscle when we work together. Second thing is sometimes we doubt ourselves. We can have much more self-confidence to say, look at this, look at what we have achieved. Let's have confidence to also push that further. And last but not least, let's be faster. Everything takes a lot of time. And I think people expect results. They don't expect just endless processes. They also expect to see outcomes. So, working together, self-esteem, self-confidence, and then speed in everything we do. Then, of course, we can make it.
I really like what you said about celebrating the good work that's been done. It seems there's a lot of, let's say, negative energy, especially surrounding the upcoming parliamentarian elections, but it's across what we've seen, it's just been absolutely wonderful, and we should celebrate what what the amazing things that we have in our continent, I guess.
Yeah, and that is not to ignore the problems.
Of course.
Because, for instance, inequality is increasing. There are people who feel that they're not included in society. But in my own experience, when I overcome an obstacle, when I solve a problem, the energy comes from realizing what we have achieved already. And I think that is much more inspiring than sort of building a mountain of problems and saying, I wonder if we can climb that. Saying, look at all the mountains we have climbed already, let's also do the next one.
One step up that mountain at a time.
Exactly.
The GÉANT network is critical for education and research facilities across Europe. Why is it essential that we have a network such as the GÉANT for our national research and education facilities rather than relying on private companies to fulfill that need?
Well, first and foremost, because people can connect, and they can connect in a way where they feel comfortable that they are safe, that their data are safe, that their results are safe. Because it has, unique identifiers, so you know who's on the network, you know who's here. You can have cloud services that is needed to upload the data that comes from your research, and you know that it is safe. And I think it's really important to have that kind of research infrastructure to make that open European research community know that when they come together in a way that is secure, that has the necessary capacity, and where people can actually identify themselves.
Europe's digital decade sets the targets for 2030. What are those targets and what can we expect to see?
Well, one target is connectivity. Do we have 5G connectivity all over Europe? Not only where you have a lot of people living close to one another, but also in other parts in rural centers. We're making progress, but we're not there yet. A second one could be the uptake of AI in businesses. And things are moving forward, but we still have some way to go. Also because you need to rethink your business model, how you get organized. And a third example could be skills. Do we have the necessary skills? And this is actually where I'm the most concerned, because we have a need for more skilled people. We have the funding for more people to be skilled. The only thing we do not have is progress. So I hope that member states will pick it up and give people more options to learn, to explore, to figure out, digital is actually not that difficult. And even if I test things, the worst thing that can go wrong is actually not that bad.
But what are the potential problems if we do not manage to make these targets by 2030?
Well, if you look at the skills target, that at least 80% would have basic digital skills, and that we have at least 20 million digital experts, and many more of them women than today, is of course that we will not be able to manage technology. The risk is that technology will be something that we buy from outside of Europe only, and that technology will manage us and our lives instead of we being in control. And that is the old history of learning, that the more you learn, the more you're in control. And it's still true, and it's in particular true when it comes to digital.
And the European Union is now leading in the world in AI legislation, but not in the development of the technologies. Do you see that as a problem, or do you see that as something that will come in time?
Well, the AI race, so to speak, is so not over. It's only in the beginning. We also see European companies popping up. One would be the French one, Mistral. And our AI legislation does not touch research and innovation. It just says go, go, go. Where it steps in particular, is when AI is being used. So used when you sort out applications for university, sort out applications for a job, if people are asking for a mortgage, if they want to have an insurance, if the police is using AI. That we know that we're not being discriminated, that we can have a social benefit if we need it, and we're not being discriminated because something crazy like a wrong postal code, or our gender, or the color of our skin. And I think that's the important thing, because then we can trust AI to work for us, and that also makes it much more interesting to develop AI, to do research in AI, to innovate in AI. because you know that we can trust it to be used well.
So you recently met with the United States, the Trade and Technology Council, and agreed to cooperate on new technologies such as AI and 6G. What will that cooperation look like? And is it open to companies or is it just national governments?
Well, we have agreed to have the same approach to the use of AI. So, of course, also in the US, they want to make sure that when there is a critical use case, where there is a risk of discrimination, racism, that we are in control of that, which means that it's very much for businesses. We also have now a code of conduct. So you know, okay, if this is the code of conduct, then I will both be very far in actually living up to the EU legislation, but also I will live up to the expectation that they have in the US. And I think that is really important, because you see AI all over this planet, and the more countries that sign up to say these are the rules of the game, well, the more we will have fair competition, level playing field, and of course to secure that it is us as humans that are in control of the technology.
So your time at the European Commission is coming to an end at the end of the year. What's next for you? Have you got goals, plans, dreams, a new job perhaps that you're interested in chasing?
Well, it is really unlikely that I can continue in the Commission, and because of that I'm looking forward for another chapter in my life. But I have made no decisions yet, also because I'm still really busy making sure that we enforce the laws that we have, so that this year is not wasted, but that this year is used in the best possible way, so that we can make progress in how we use technology and how technology presents itself to us. So I'll leave that to second half this year, and I think something will turn up.
Something exciting for sure.
Yes.
So what does that look like? Can you tell us a little bit about your everyday in ensuring Europe's digital future?
Well, my days are very different, because sometimes I travel to a member state, I will meet with members of parliament, members of the government, members of the business community, maybe an NGO. Other days we have a meeting between the College of Commissioners, so I'll meet with my colleague. But my days are always with people. My own team, the extended team, my colleagues, people I know in member states that I need to work with. So I think, you know, once I get out of the gym, I've had my morning tea, then I'm ready to work with other people. And those are my days.
And that's what we see across this Connecting Europe tour, is collaboration, working with people, and honestly just the most amazing people coming together to make sure that Europe is fit for a digital future.
Exactly.
Margrethe, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a real pleasure.
It was such a pleasure that you came by. You're most welcome another time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We would love to be back.